Hello everyone, No One of Consequence here. This is my review of the digital version of the Welcome to the Hellfire Club starter set. And although it does not say starter set on the cover of this product, you will see that it actually is one. As mentioned in the title, this review is for the digital version of the Hellfire Club starter set. If you want to know more about the physical product, there are plenty of unboxing videos out there which you can search for. And just as with the recent Heroes of the Borderlands starter set, I purchased this product through my Roll20 account. And just as with the Borderlands starter set, I normally would not purchase a new product from WotC. However, since the TV show this product is based upon is set in the 1980s, and the characters in it are playing first edition AD&D, I wanted to get this and have a look at it. Since I was playing the game during that time, I wanted to see how closely this product comes to what I remember from those days. And besides, I'm just a sucker for nostalgia, what can I say? So first of all, this product is integral to Roll20. It cannot be downloaded. Upon purchase, you do not get a zip file which you can download. You must create a new game within Roll20 and then select this product as an add-on in order to use it. Before we begin, a little background. I will admit that although Stranger Things Season 4 was released during the summer of 2022, I never got around to watching it at the time. However, I was aware that the kids in the show were playing first edition AD&D and that their DM was a new character named Eddie Munson. But again, I just never got around to actually watching Season 4. That is, until just within the past week or so. With the release of the Hellfire Club starter set, plus the coming of Season 5, I figured it was time to get caught up. So, over the course of a couple of nights, I logged into my wife's Netflix account from my computer and binge-watched the entire season. And now that I can speak from a position of background knowledge, let's get into it. After the recent release of the Heroes of the Borderlands starter set, I was a little apprehensive about this new Hellfire Club starter set. I did 2 review videos about the Borderlands set, which you can go back and watch if you have not seen them yet. So, for this new product, I first decided to have a look at the credits. And except for Jeremy Crawford, I didn't really recognize any of the names. However, my attention was immediately drawn to the section labeled Consultants, found towards the bottom. I thought to myself, these people must be the 3 DEI consultants that WotC has pledged to run each new product past before publication. And a quick Google search of those names told me I was correct. So now you can probably understand my apprehensions. Now, when you log into the new Hellfire Club Roll20 campaign, you land on a blank page. Inspecting what other pages are available shows you these options. First, let's look at the Roll20 Tips option highlighted here. This page gives you a lot of thumbnails, which explain how to use this product within Roll20. It's mainly intended for DMs who are new to Roll20 itself. Next, let's look at the Dynamic Lighting page. This takes you to another sort of tutorial on how to use the dynamic lighting aspect of Roll20. Now, keep in mind, you must have a paid subscription to Roll20 in order to use the dynamic lighting feature. Moving on is the Tokens page. Clicking on it takes you to this page showing examples of all the tokens available with the product. As you can see, a big change from other recent products is that these tokens are all black line artwork, no doubt trying to keep with the 80s theme of the product. The next folder we'll look at contains components for the actual adventures which come with this product. Opening the folder, we see that the far right-hand side map is labeled Gray Hawkins. Obviously, it is a play on the name of the Greyhawk campaign setting. Opening that map shows you this campaign world map. Now, if I wanted to run a Greyhawk-themed campaign but didn't want to deal with the vast actual world of Greyhawk, I would use this map. There's a good variety of terrain types, unlabeled locations, which could be further developed, and of course the central city of Greyhawkins itself, the perfect setting for urban adventures. And in fact, if you look at the map more closely, you will realize that a couple of the unlabeled sites are intended to be the locations of classic AD&D adventure modules, specifically the Tomb of Horrors and Expedition to the Barrier Peaks. At any rate, the other 4 maps in this folder are battle maps for the 4 adventures which come with this product. I don't want to give away any spoilers, but I'll show a couple of small samples from these maps. Here is a small section of the battle map Dungeon of Shadows. Going back out to the parent folder, I've now moved over to the Hellfire Dome battle map. And here is a very small section of that battle map. Now let's look at the drop-down menus on the right side of the Roll20 screen. It starts with a folder titled Roll20 Information. Here I've clicked on the document called Game Settings. It tells the DM how to configure this particular instance of Roll20 for running the Hellfire Club campaign. The next subfolder contains the pre-generated player characters. Here I've selected the first option, Lady Applejack, level 1. Now, before you scoff, if you're not familiar with the TV show, these pre-gens are based upon the player characters the kids use in their game. And besides, who among you has never had or known someone who has had a character with a joke name? And although this product is created for D&D 2024, you do not have to actually install these character sheets in order to use it. And here is the portrait handout for that particular character. The next subfolder is called Play Guide. This section is primarily intended for people who are new to the Dungeons & Dragons game itself. Here I've selected a document called Quick Start Guide. The next subfolder contains everything needed to run the 4 adventures themselves. Here I've randomly selected the first document for the adventure, Ballad of the Rat King. As you can see, it's for 3rd level characters. And here is the beginning of the second document, Adventure Background. The next subfolder is a library of treasure items which can be found within these adventures. Here I've selected the first in the list, Adamantine Breastplate. You can see that it provides an illustration of the item as well as its description. The next subfolder contains all the named NPCs. Here I've selected the first one on the list, which opens the character sheet of a halfling NPC named Bibble. Next up is a listing of all the monsters found within these adventures. Here are the stats for the first monster in the list, the Ankeg. And if you select the Bio and Info tab, you get this page and illustration for the monster. And here is the player handout for the monster. The next subfolder contains all the various player handouts for the different adventures. Here is just one example. It's quite a difference from the typical D&D artwork being published these days. Here is another example. And still yet another. Some seriously ominous looking stuff, which I think is great. And the very last subfolder is titled Supplemental Material. Again, it is directed primarily towards brand new Dungeons & Dragons players. If you click on the illustration, you get a larger version of it. The Hellfire Club product also installs one new card deck called Magic Items. This example shows both the front and back for one of the cards. Here is a partial list of the rollable tables which the game installs. You can pause a moment if you want and read through the list. They all support the various adventures which come with this product. So overall, what do you get with this product? Well, you get a total of 4 adventure modules. Here are the covers for the first 2 adventures, the Vanishing Gnome and Scream of the Crop. As you can see, the first one is for first level characters, while the other is for second level characters. You can start with brand new characters and run these in sequence, or run them as standalones. I really like the old school, worn and scuffed look they gave to these illustrations. And here are the covers for the second 2 adventures, both for third level characters. Ballad of the Rat King and Devil Metal Die. If you are running these in sequence, then Devil Metal Die is intended to be the culmination of the series. In the spirit of the TV show, successfully completing the final adventure earns the players admissions into the Hellfire Club. So, what is my final verdict? Well, I'm pleased to say that I do approve of this product, and I would recommend getting it. Now, I do realize it can be tough to swallow giving money to WotC these days, but you could think of it as sending a message to WotC. Old school themed stuff still sells. So what specific reasons do I have for recommending this product? Well, you get a lot of Roll20 assets for $20. An experienced Dungeon Master can easily adapt the material for use in an OSR rules-based game. And that's exactly what I plan to do. I think it recreates the feel of 1980s Dungeons & Dragons very well. I quickly read through all 4 adventures, and I could not really find anything that sounded like reimagined for a modern audience language that's been run past multiple DEI consultants. It reads just like it's pure old-school adventuring. So, although those 3 DEI consultants got name credit in this product, it doesn't seem like they had much actual influence over it. One other nice touch I want to mention is that in the adventure text, you occasionally come across notations, which are supposed to be DM advice from Eddie Munson himself. Now, the adventures look to be very challenging. In the final adventure, the characters must succeed or die. It does provide suggestions for if the DM doesn't want to be quite that hardcore. There are still serious penalties for characters who fail the final adventure, but they don't necessarily have to die. Admittedly, I cannot really determine how tough these adventures would be for D&D 2024 characters. But if a DM were to adapt them to an old school rule set, I feel confident in saying that these adventures would be very tough. Now, I must also mention that there is a good bit of gonzo in this product. So, if you don't like that sort of thing, then this product may not be for you. But one thing I can absolutely guarantee you about this Hellfire Club product: the characters will not stumble onto a goblin birthday party. Nor will the characters be tasked with rounding up stray goats. What I can promise is that the characters will encounter monsters which will rip their face off if they're not careful. Now, I want to close by tying up this product with the TV show it is based upon. Now, which scene inspires you more to answer the call to adventure? The one on the left or the one on the right? Or here, which bat-like creatures do you find to be both frightening and yet awaken within you a call to battle? The ones on the left or the ones on the right? I think for the vast majority of Dungeons & Dragons players, the answer to both questions is clear. So, if you're a fan of the TV show and also play Dungeons & Dragons, I think you would like this product. Or, if the show has inspired you to learn the Dungeons & Dragons game, then this product would be a great place to start. As for myself, I am genuinely excited to run this product for my own Roll20 player someday. Alright, well that's all I have for now. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed the video, please hit the like button. If you can, please leave a comment and let me know what you think. If you haven't yet, please subscribe to the channel. If you know of a good place, please share the video. And anything you can do to help support the channel, I appreciate it. Thanks again. Bye for now.